Mr. Reddy. I'd also like to present an award to the nurse. We're sorry we never brought your ice packs back.
On behalf of the school body, I'd just like to thank the clerical staff in student services, front office and finances. So can Gemma and Mrs. Lawton please come up?
Organising all the social events and the commitment to volleyball.
On behalf of the Year 12 student body, I would like to thank Canteen ladies for feeding us when no one else would. So Mrs. Bash, please come up. You guys are really super ladies.
On behalf of all the Year 12s, especially the student counsellors, we wanted to take this chance to literally say a huge thank you to Mr. Holyoke. We'd also like to personally thank Mrs. Bottom for this one.
Are you going to tell people what the gift to the school is? Because I think it's pretty special.
From all our fundraising, we are donating a cheque to the school to go towards a water fountain in the new school.
In fact, around about this time next year we'll be coming fairly close to completion. We'll certainly be inviting you back for a coffee and to unveil the water fountain, so thanks very much.
I'd now like to invite our 2010 head boy, Ben Donaldson, to join us.
Ms. Bottoms, special guests, parents and students of Rossmoyne. If, for a few minutes, we, the graduates of 2010, stop and consider the sum of our days, we will make some interesting discoveries. Rossmoyne is a Scottish name given by the original developers, the Webb family, to the area. You may have noticed the remnants of the Scottish tartan uniform around the school. This site was originally designated as a second university for Perth. The idea was later abandoned, and a corner of the site became Rossmoyne Senior High School. This school is bordered by Bull Creek. Bull Creek runs through the Yagan Park into the Canny River nearby, and all around are reminders of our Aboriginal and convict history. It's hard to imagine our empty blocks, where power lines and water tanks were the first obligation. Most of us present here today have walked out of suburban houses on suburban blocks, our own little patches of heaven. These are our little castles, embellished with all forms of technology and gadgetry. Today it's amazing to imagine that every little block may represent a corner of a far-off land. The food cooked, clothes worn, and the daily disciplines that happen in the homes are of those represented in this, our multicultural school. Next door we may hear the sound of the tabla, or see a little candle burning, calling one to prayer. There is no lack of drama in the stories of each person's life. Stories from every corner of the globe, or stories of suburban mayhem. Most of us were born in the year Paul John Keating took office. He was passionate about reforming the economy, Aboriginal rights, and concepts of multiculturalism, particularly our links with Asia. Whether you agreed with him or not, he was a man of vision, and he had a way with words. The big picture and short-term pain from long-term gain roll readily off the tongue. You see, we, the class of 2010, were ushered into the world with big ideas. Our inception into high school life was met with words from a similarly influential man, Mr. Hollier, with facts that would benefit our lives forever. I'll never forget that the actual colour of Coke is green. Could come in handy one day. This school was built on many of the same premises as Keating's short-term pain for long-term gain. Dedicated teachers and parents over many years were determined that a junior high school would become a first-rate senior high school. In 2010, when government schools are fighting for their very survival, Rossmoyne bucks this trend and lifts the status of government schools to equal any of the best private or public schools in the country. The students of Rossmoyne have been gifted with this proud heritage. Government schools stand for the very best principles of our democracy. Government schools are egalitarian. They provide education for everyone, and they do not turn students away. Whether you're an intellectual pipsqueak or an intellectual giant, you have a right to be here. This school has a proud legacy of the walking, talking suburban kids who got up from the asphalt playground, did their best, and got to the top. We as teenagers carry the stereotypes and stigmas that supposedly define us. Our parents will attest to our being a self-indulgent generation. I would like to think that we who attend Rossmoyne project a far more positive image of youth culture. We have students representing Rossmoyne in sporting and community-based programs that bring about real outcomes. The breadth and width of scholastic achievement knows no bounds. Rose scholars come from this school, and we hope that many more come from our year. We embrace and are affected by world events. During our 5 years at Rossmoyne, we have endured significant national and international events which have challenged us to reflect on who we are, how we perceive ourselves, and how we view others. In 2006, while we were in Year 8, we were confronted with the shock death of Australian icon Steve Irwin. In Year 9, a local football idol, Chris Waring, passed away in confronting circumstances. In Year 10, Kevin Rudd, as Australian Prime Minister, apologised to the stolen generation. In Year 11, we witnessed the pain and suffering of a community destroyed by bushfires in Victoria. And this year, we celebrate the first female Prime Minister of this country. I'd like to paraphrase a quote from our current Prime Minister to reflect my experience as head boy. Some days I may delight you, some days I may disappoint you, but every day I'm working hard and wearing my uniform for you. We are a strong but sensitive generation who are more in touch globally than any other at the same age. Notwithstanding our self-obsessed world, when the most important thing occurring is the hurt of being dumped by the love of our lives. over a 3-week text-based romance that we thought would last forever. Poignant, I know. As these monumental events occur, the support of our friends see us fight another day. It is this peer support, combined with the character-building strategies of the administration and teachers, that encourage us to look beyond our personal issues, see the bigger picture, to confront feelings and to embrace them. We as students have experienced the full range of emotions that school life brings. It seems nothing that is worth having comes easily. I, for one, have had to pick up the pieces that my insecurities and fears created. School may appear as a daunting journey, but as you sit there in your final moments, in any Rossmoyne shed, you can rest in the confidence that you have done everything you could to face, confront, and overcome the adversities that stood in your way. Someday, we will look into the corner of a room, and just for a minute, we will be 17 again, remembering the jokes that were made and quickly forgotten due to the humour the jokes lacked. We will remember the songs we all listened to and loved, songs we later regrettably loved. Soldier Boy. We won't forget the wolf packs that were forged, packs of 5 or 6 who used to be hell-bent on hijacking lessons and larrikinism. Over the years, these packs have grown into one big wolf pack of 330. Searching the school for lost work and due dates. I've loved working alongside Brittany, our head girl, and the incredibly committed student counsellors who have carried out their responsibilities with great aptitude and dedication. Our year coordinator, Mr. Holyoke, who never once flinched at the task ahead of him. The caring and dedicated teachers who have nurtured us through our studies, and our always approachable and friendly principal, Mrs. Boffins. All this has prepared us to stand on the threshold of moving into the wider world and taking up the responsibilities of adulthood. Teachers, you have passed on the mantras, you have done your job, and we, the leaving students, would like to thank you. To the Year 12 leaders, we are a special group of people who have genuinely cared and looked out for one another. We as individuals have created strong scaffolding with our friendships. I'd like to think that we have papered these walls with our laughter and tears, that the windows are alive with our visions and the shelves are full of our words. We hope this place will always echo with the conversations and laughter of this group. 2010. Thank you.